FGC Translated released a video where Daigo talks about some of the differences between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. So here's a quick clip of what Daigo had to say.
いやマジね、スト4やってない人たちはね、スト4のね、ガードの崩さなさを一回体験してほしい。いかにこのね、投げがね、ちゃんと崩せるように作られてるっていうか、修正されたかっていうか、通過の部分マジで崩れなかった、あのゲーム。だからスト4ではさ、すげえ手堅くやってたけど、別にそういうゲーム性が好きなわけではないのよ、私は。勝つために渋々ですよ。
He really speaks on how hard it was to basically land attacks in Street Fighter 4 versus Street Fighter 5. I can't wait to hear Devin's take on this. So, so we'll basically start with Evan first to get that nice Devin rank last. So, how do you guys feel about the skill difference between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5?
You know, my issue. I have all these different issues with Street Fighter 5. Ever since the game kind of came out, when it first came out, it wasn't that great, at least in my opinion. It kind of felt like the release for me of Street Fighter 4. Like originally when Street Fighter 4 came out, I felt like Street Fighter 4 was kind of bare bones, like almost like they planned like to add all that stuff later on from the very beginning anyway. But yeah, when Street Fighter 4 came out, I mean, I liked it. Dan was cool. You have Ken, Ryu, all the usual suspects. But the game came out and it felt like there wasn't a whole lot there. And it kind of feels like Street Fighter 5 kind of followed the same trend where it's just like, okay, well, we're going to come out with this base game that's really not that great. And then the next few versions that come out after that are really going to build the game up into what it's supposed to be. And as far as like the skill difference between Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, I think that there is something to be said about that. I feel like in Street Fighter 4 just felt better to me than Street Fighter 5. Like there's just I never really played Street Fighter 4 seriously like that. And I don't really play Street Fighter 5 seriously either, but I feel like Street Fighter 4 always felt better to me. And part of that had to do with some of the characters that they put in the game, the general aesthetic of the game, the focus canceling, stuff like that. The way the ultimate system worked, supers, the EX, like I said, characters, Adon, Jaguar Tooth. Like I haven't seen hide nor hair of Adon, I don't think at all in Street Fighter 5. I'm still looking for him, but at least we got Dan. I mean, that's something, right, guys?
Yay!
I don't know.
I'm so happy. Here comes a new masher. Do, 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 do. Okay, so speaking of Street Fighter 4, I actually just played Ultra this morning. Actually, just off a random. I was playing Dragon Ball with some people, and they was like, "Oh, we play Street Fighter." I'm like, "I ain't played in a while, but I'll play." So, piggybacking off what Evan said, I do agree that Street Fighter 4 felt bare bones at first. But also it could have been planned. I think there's definitely some back in the scenes, behind the scenes planning on like, oh, we're gonna just make it like this, put 2 characters in the game, and then we're gonna release like 50 more with like 5 more versions that you got to pay $1,000 for a piece. But at least they had it where you can unlock characters. That was dope. And it's like fighting games nowadays, you don't even see that unlocking characters. You might unlock one, but it's like you had the opportunity to unlock multiple characters in Street Fighter 4, which I feel like was more attuned to like the older style games, which I love that aspect about fighting games. But to the skill level part, Street Fighter 4 to me is obviously a higher skill level because one, the execution, the one frame links and all that stuff. I love that stuff. It's hard, it's arbitrary, but it's like you have a sense of satisfaction when you learn to do this stuff, not only in practice mode, but like learn to do it consistently in an actual match against the actual person. And my biggest thing about Street Fighter 5 is that every character kind of seems like they can only be played a certain way. Now different people play different ways. Like I play Fong. I was a Fong main for a while. Yes, I know. I'm a glutton for punishment. I have a friend that he mains Fong as well. Both play the same character, but we played a lot different. I played more reserved a little bit, trying to fill out the other player. He was more aggressive. So there are different styles, but it's like for the most part the combos are the same. There's really not any difference in combos. The biggest thing about Street Fighter 4, those links, like some people just couldn't do certain combos. It was like a Street Fighter 5, pretty much everything is the same. Everybody can do the same combos for the most part. There is some hard stuff, I guess, but in comparison to Street Fighter 4, like those loops and those links, like for instance, like Chun-Li loops and stuff like that, you're not just gonna be like pressing random buttons and just doing that stuff is hard. So to see somebody pull that stuff off, you're like, oh my! It makes it even more hype. That's what I love about Street Fighter 4. You see these really top players, these character specialists, and they pull out them crazy combos that only a few like people can do. You like, man, that's what I'm talking about. But Street Fighter 5, you're like, stand fierce, crush counter, V trigger, super, rinse, repeat. It's just like I enjoy Street Fighter 5 for what it was, and I'm not saying it's just a terrible game, but I prefer Street Fighter 4. That's it.